Here we are, another episode for my family, for my future, episode 13.
Lucky 13.
Lucky 13. And right before we started recording this, we had a little marital dispute.
Oh, we are talking about it.
So I think we should just air it out in front of everybody. So the way we usually do things in our house is when it comes to anniversaries, which we're coming up on our 17-year wedding anniversary. When this episode releases, I think it's like the week or two after this episode releases, will be our 17-year anniversary.
17.
And together for almost 21 total years, married for 17. And the way we do it is we basically alternate years who plans the anniversary, because I had been doing all the anniversary dates for a long time. And then there came a year where you were like, let me plan it.
Yep.
And I remember you planned this amazing date where we did all these crazy things. Like we went rock climbing, and we weren't rock climbers. We didn't live in Colorado at the time, so It wasn't like a cool hip thing to do. Like we went rock climbing. It was just an awesome date. And you're like, I love doing this. So we started alternating years. Yep. I'll plan it one year, you plan it the next, what the date night is to celebrate our anniversary. Well, this year we had a little dispute because Brittany said, it's my year to plan it. I said, don't worry about it. I got it. And then,
literally as we're sitting here, I said, so what are we going to talk about that's funny? He was like, do you want to plan our anniversary? Like, that's not funny.
Well, I thought you would want to plan it.
I do, but we are pert near.
We got time right now. You've got time to plan it. We're pre-recording this episode. It's pre-recorded.
It's pre-recorded.
It's pre-recorded. Well, for real, you've got time. So I don't know why I made you so mad. Why did that make you so mad?
Because I don't like change like that.
It was a small change.
No, it's a big one.
You plan the anniversary date.
It's not a date. It's a whole thing.
We do go all out. That is one thing about us. We go all out on anniversaries. And people are like,
going to New York City, baby.
We're not going to New York City. It's insane. This is why I didn't want you to plan it, because she'll go do something like crazy.
Nice.
You're insane. Okay. But
Italy.
Stop. Okay. It's a new year and a new budget. We're trying to batten
down the hatches.
Batten down the hatches here. But this is why I thought you would love it, because you love planning things. But you do get a little out of control sometimes.
Can't help it.
Can't help it. We do go all out. There are people who make fun of us for, like, it's not a big anniversary. It's like 17. But in our minds, every year is a big one.
It is? Well, yeah.
Every year. I celebrate it. I don't care if it's 20, 25, 26, 27, 23. In. Name the number. In. So that's what thank you for solving our marital dispute.
Nothing has been solved, but.
You're planning our anniversary date.
I am.
Great. We are doing no, we're not. We're doing a special episode today called Help, We're About to Be Parents.
Oh boy.
Help, We're About to Be Parents.
This is going to be a fun one.
This will be a fun one.
Yeah.
And really the heart behind this is we have so many young families in our church. Mm-hmm. And just last week I was talking to a young man in our church who he and his wife are expecting their first child.
Yep.
And they're listening to the podcast, trying to get ready for family and future and all those things. And so we just thought it'd be cool to have an episode where we just talk through, like, what have we learned about parenting that was maybe surprising? Like if we were going back to having our first child, which we have 3.
Yep.
12, 9, 7. So it's a while since we've had newborns in that stage. But we've got friends that have newborns, and so it's easy to remember.
Oh, yeah.
So the question Brittany and I were asking each other as we were planning this is, what would we say to each other if we were to go back in time and talk to us right before we had our first kid?
Yeah.
What do you need to get ready for? And because, in that season, you're like, people always say you're never really ready.
Right.
Because there are many people who will wait to have kids until they feel like they're ready.
Which is not a thing.
You're never ready.
No.
But you can know some things to at least be somewhat ready.
Sure. It's almost like we were trying to think, what do we wish people would have told us? And I might try to add in some, what do we wish people had just kept to themselves?
Totally.
Like, one of the things that you should probably keep to yourself.
Are you ruining one of our points here?
No, this is separate.
Separate. This is bonus content.
When
you get this for free.
Free 99.
Wow.
When you are in the room with a pregnant mother.
Mm-hmm. I already know where you're going.
Do not in any way.
She's about to get a whole lot of people amening her.
Tell her that she looks tired. That she looks like she might be carrying twins.
She looks like she's about to pop.
You look miserable.
Definitely don't want to say that.
That has been actually said to your wife.
I know. I was there for it.
Yeah. Just if you can't say anything nice,
don't say anything at all. Yep, don't say anything at all.
Just you're glowing.
Also,
or don't even comment on it.
Also, if you're unsure that they're pregnant, don't say, "Are you pregnant?"
Sure.
These are also just. This is really not about being a parent right now. This is just general life wisdom.
Sure.
This is modern day proverbs.
Zippity doo dah.
Yep, zippity doo dah, zippity day. We have 10 things we want to share with you today.
Yep, here we go.
10 quick points. Help. We're about to become parents, and we hope that these prepare you. Number 1 is you don't have, when you have a child, you don't have to change everything about your social life.
Correct.
We thought going into this
that
when we had a kid, we were like, well, here goes all social interactions. Here goes everything. Here goes all fun.
And we realized pretty quickly, I'm really thankful that we actually had someone tell us this.
Correct.
Which is
wisdom passed down.
Wisdom passed down. She said, hey, babies pack well. They travel
They really do. Especially when you only have one.
Especially when you have one. Like, it's like, bring the stuff that you might need while you're out and about and go for it.
Yeah. And I think it's a good thing because I think a lot of parents, I think a lot of expecting parents, when they get pregnant,
they go, no, I'm not going to have any friends. All my friends are going to, like, they have immediate FOMO.
Right.
And you don't have to have FOMO.
And you worry about your hobbies going away. You just worry about life changing so much. It's like, man, that first baby, I feel like just adds so much fun and joy to life. As long as you will just say, you know what, we're just going to keep living life.
Yeah.
We're going to take that little sweet baby with us.
Yep.
And I feel like that leads us into
number 2,
a really easy thing for point number 2. So point number 1 is you don't have to change everything about your social life. They pack well. Take them with you. Which leads into point number 2, which is one of my favorite, most unexpected blessings in parenthood.
Glorious.
Is that kids make for the absolute best excuses to leave something you don't want to attend.
Yeah. and it makes total sense. Like, you can say, oh, I wish, you know what? I wish we could.
I wish we could stay.
But little fella needs...
Little Johnny's got nap time.
Yeah, we got to get... So sorry.
Little Johnny's got a cough. Did you hear that cough?
Oh, no.
Little Johnny's got a snotty nose.
Can't come.
Little Johnny's got a little diaper rash. You don't even have to prove that one. You can just say, yep, he's got rashy butt. I got to get him home.
I don't know if we've ever blamed...
I'm just saying, they're the best excuse.
They are.
We have used kids to get out of so many things. People do not understand what a free social pass having a child is to leaving things or going to things. You can just do whatever you want with your life and blame it on the child. It's amazing. It's truly, like, I feel like if people understood this, there would be a lot more people trying to have kids.
Maybe.
Oh, I 100% think that. If you knew you could leave a social function.
Oh, no, it's almost 7:30.
Oh, no, I got to warm his bottle up and there's not a microwave here. Well, there is a microwave over there. Well, we don't heat them up in the microwave. We only do it in a pot and a pan and we turn the oven on. Sorry. I've got an oven. Sorry. Just got to go. And no one asks a question.
No, it's like, oh, okay.
And then when you leave, they all just go, isn't that baby so cute?
Precious babies.
And you're just like, wow, I really dodged a bullet there.
Yep. Number 3.
Thank you, Lord.
For number 3?
Yeah, take them.
Okay.
Do you want me to do it?
I'll do it.
Okay.
Protect your money.
Protect your money.
They're expensive.
Babies are expensive. And 95% of the things that the world tells you need for a baby, you do not need.
No, I remember, like you...
Tell us about it.
You plan you do like the baby registry. And there's like Target and then there's...
Scanning everything. Babies R Us. Out of business.
Oh, Bye Bye Baby.
Bye Bye Baby.
That's my favorite one. And they give you like a booklet because if you're new parents, you don't know what in the world you need.
Correct.
You just know you need clothes, diapers, a crib.
Yeah. But then they tell you everything you need.
Yeah. So I remember going through this list and was like, a wipe warmer?
A wipe warmer.
Why do I need a wipe warmer? Because when you get the wipes out of the warmer thing and just do this, it gets cold. I mean,
yeah, they get cold.
It's not necessary. Also, I love, you can say, I know you're ready to it. Go ahead, say it.
The only thing with all these baby products, they're just people just making money off you.
Yeah.
People just making money off of your fear of parenting. They're monetizing it. I would just say, when in doubt, remember the pioneers. They raised children in wagons.
Yeah.
And it was fine.
No electricity.
Yeah. Some of them got typhoid fever, one of those Oregon Trail ailments, but like,
going back
come on.
Yeah.
Remember the pioneers.
Although
save your money.
I don't know what it's called, but it's this
Here
bed.
we go. Here's where we lose money.
Plug in, and if it senses your baby waking up, it
jostles a little bit. We've got that in our bed now. I want the adult size of the Mamaroo or whatever it's called.
It's like the snooze or something. I don't know what it's called, but
protect your money, people. Protect your money. Remember the pioneers. That I'm gonna preach a sermon at some point that just is called "Remember the Pioneers."
Remember the Pioneers.
Number 4. I think that it's really good to remember. This is probably less on the funny side and more on the real side to prepare.
Yeah, this is for sure.
Is that having a child is going to be harder on your extended family than you think it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful moment to celebrate, but it also introduces a lot of potential problems and tensions into relationships with extended family members.
Yeah, you're just going to have to communicate really well with your spouse and with your family on like expectations and just be really intentional with it, because you're not trying to stiff arm anyone. You are trying to do what's best for this new little bundle that you have, and they want to be a part of that new little bundle's life in every way possible. And so when you have to say, hey, so we're going to have to change holidays around, like, we're going to have to make an adjustment here. Do it. It's going to put you in a little bit more of a situation when it comes to how you communicate and what you communicate.
It does. And it's still really important to have healthy boundaries.
Absolutely.
And I think it's just good for any of you young couples out there that are about to bring a kid into the world. If you remember how hard it was to explain to your parents that you weren't going to be there for a holiday.
Sure.
Just know that when you go to explain to that same thing to them with a sweet baby in the mix, the feelings and emotions and the feelings of disappointment that you will fear are happening, sometimes aren't even really happening.
No.
But in your mind they're happening because you don't want to disappoint the ones that you love.
Yeah. But then you also have this new child that you feel like you have to protect.
Totally.
And you don't want to run them into the ground and be exhausted. Like you're thinking at it from a totally different perspective. And your extended family is too, because now they are in a new stage of their life as well. So
as my friend Zach always says, you teach people how to treat you. And that's the same with extended family, with how they interact with you, with your baby, all the things. You got to make sure you and your spouse are locked in on what's best for your family. And then just know it's gonna be harder on your extended family than I think most people understand that it's going to be. And we weren't fully prepared for that.
No, and it's nothing that you can't work through.
Yeah, you can work through it,
but it's better to know ahead of time that that's something that can cause some struggle. The
next one is in the same vein of just it's going to be harder than you anticipate, but I wish that someone had told us this before going into it. We had heard stories about it. We knew that there was, the potential for these types of problems, but it is going to be harder, not just on your extended family and all that stuff. Within the marriage, bringing a kid in the world is going to be harder on your sex life and your intimacy and your romance than you understand that it's going to be.
Sure.
And it's not just the you can't have sex for 6 weeks after.
It's not like once the doctor says, all right, mama, you're all ready now. You're good.
Because everything changes.
It's
energy.
That is one thing. You don't have to change everything. Number one, lots change within your marriage.
Yes.
I mean,
energy
the way that
changes.
you've connected in the past changes.
Yep. Hormones change, energy changes, body changes. Just like normal like rhythms of life are so thrown off, and you have to figure out a whole new normal.
Right.
And it really is. You have to make intentional effort to keep the flames of romance alive in your marriage. And I know that's not true for everybody. Again, this is stuff that we've learned in our marriage and we've learned in counseling people over the past 15 years and all this. So there's some couples out there that are like, my sex life was amazing after having kids. Awesome. Good for you. Praise the Lord.
That's awesome.
That's just not true for most people.
It's not. Yeah.
So I think it's something to prepare for. And to me, it reinforces the need for what we've talked about before on the podcast. A regular, healthy conversation about your sex life is one of the most proactive things you can do to maintain health, to fight against the devil's attacks on your marriage. Because like both of you are dealing with new things. Like, you know, the mom is dealing with caring for this child. And if, you know, there's just all kinds of things that come with that. The dad is dealing with new pressures of wanting to provide for the family like never before. So there's just so much going on that you got to fight for intimacy.
Absolutely.
It's hard.
But super important to know ahead of time.
Number 6.
So, yeah, this is a really good one. So,
thank you. I wrote this one down.
Your marriage is still the most important relationship in your life.
More important than that baby.
More important than that baby. And the reason is because if you now hold that baby, you hold your love of that new child higher than the love of your spouse, everything gets wonky.
Ooh, man.
Real quick. Real quick.
Yeah.
And it's hard. I remember like coming home from the hospital and being like, oh my gosh, I've never loved someone like this before. It's not, that doesn't in any way, shape, or form mean that I love you less than I did before. It is just very different.
Very different.
But in order for you to raise that baby in the best way you can, you've got to hold your relationship with your spouse at the top.
You know, it's this is going to absolutely tick off some people who hear this. And I want you to know before I say it, I'm not thinking of anyone in particular. We've been doing ministry together for too many years for me to think of one person when saying anything.
Yeah.
We just have too many examples. But I think it's so fascinating that many of the couples, this is going to sound like such a small thing, but I think it's symptomatic of a bigger thing. So many of the couples that we counsel who have kids and then their marriage struggles, I almost always know who's going to be emailing us and telling us they need help in their marriage by one indicator.
Ooh, I don't know what this
is their social media profile pic of them and their spouse, or is it of them and their baby? I know it's a small, tiny thing, but it's like out of the overflow of the heart, the fingers tweet.
Yeah, you cannot elevate.
And it's like couples that do that, it's like there's something subtle going on behind the scenes. And it doesn't have, I'm not saying it's a rule for everyone. I'm not trying to like come down on anyone that has kids in your profile pics or whatever. I'm just saying there's something that happens when you start valuing that relationship with your child over the relationship with your spouse, and it messes things up bad.
Typically, the reason that you have that child is because of the relationship you have with your spouse.
Totally.
And how much love you have for them. The other thing, too, as a little side caveat, is obviously your relationship with Jesus is primo. Top.
Relationship with another human, spouse has got to be first.
Yes.
Spouse got to be first. Yeah. And I seriously do think in again, it's a tiny small thing with like phone wallpaper backgrounds. When I see someone who they click on their phone and it's a picture of them and their spouse and they've got kids, I go, oh man, look how much they love each other. It's like, and it's a small thing, but these little small things are symptomatic
of something bigger.
Of something bigger.
Our kids will be like, Mom, why don't you have a picture of me on your phone? I'm like, I do. It's just not the first.
Yeah.
The first one that I look at.
The first one we look at is your man.
Is your daddy.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know? So you just whatever you have to do to keep your marriage the most important relationship, your kids will benefit from it.
Oh my gosh, 100%.
Like your kids will be loved better if you love your spouse more than you love them. I know that's a weird, I can't love anyone more than my kids. It's a different kind of love.
Different.
I'm just telling you should prioritize your marriage over your relationship with your kids 10 out of 10 times.
Always.
Okay, off that soapbox. On to number 7.
This
is one of my favorite ones.
This one's a good one.
You need to be prepared that everyone is going to tell you how you should do everything. And they're going to tell you as if there is no other way.
Yeah.
Don't buy into it.
Yeah.
There are 1,000 ways to go about parenting. And you got to find the ways that work for you. I believe there's some ways that are wiser than others.
For sure.
But all of it's dependent on your personality type, what your marriage is like, what your kids are like. Every baby's different.
Right.
Every family situation is different. Every financial situation is different. There's not one way to raise a child, especially in caring for babies.
Oh, no.
But people will tell you that it's like, if you don't breastfeed for this long, you're a horrible person. If you like, whoa.
If you sleep train.
If you sleep train.
Don't sleep train.
If you let your kids sleep in bed with you.
Yeah. It's a whole, just realize that what works for you does not in any way, shape, or form mean it's better or worse than what is different about another way parents do it.
Because if you find something that works for you, you have likely struck the lottery. Because parenting's hard.
Yeah, it is.
Like what worked for us with Emmett.
Yeah.
A very strict schedule of sleep. We did sleep training. We had him, and it worked great because he was sleeping through the night very quick, and we had our nights back, and it was fantastic. But then Solomon comes along, and nothing worked for 8 months.
Right.
And we tried everything and couldn't find. Then we finally found something that worked. And it was different than what we did with Emmett. It's like everybody just calm down.
For sure.
Like just don't buy into the guilt. If you don't do it the way some set of Instagram influencer parents do it, that you're not doing it the right way.
No.
Figure out what works for you.
Yeah.
What worked for us with all of them eventually was a strict schedule, sleeping, eating.
But it's because we thrive on structure.
We thrive on structure.
I like knowing exactly what's next. And I knew that it would help me to know, oh, my son or my daughter is upset or crying because she's probably hungry.
Yep.
Or, nope, she's tired. She needs to go take a nap because we kept her on a schedule. That just helped me tremendously.
And you're a very structured person in that way.
I am, yeah.
And we have friends of ours who do it totally different.
Yeah.
And they're way more just like go with the flow. And we go, honestly, what we do is when we see friends that are unstructured with their kids and go with the flow, we go, nothing about their kids. What would it like to be what would it be like to be unstructured? Yeah. We're always like, what does that mean? What would it be like to be so free flowing?
Yeah. But there's also something as parents to realize, if you feel like you need to shame the way that someone else is raising their kids,
Lord have mercy.
You
have
need
mercy.
to just filter yourself, because
Yeah.
that brings on a boatload of of issues that don't need to be had.
It's always funny when someone is very, very proud about the way they're raising their first child, and they shame other people about, and then they get hit with number 2 or number 3, and it completely changes their world. And then all the rest of us have been sitting back watching it go, yeah, that's like, parenting's hard.
It's just hard.
It's hard. So just don't feel like you have to do it like everybody else does it.
Right.
Find the way that works for you. Be confident in it.
Yep.
Number 8 and 9 kind of go together. But you need to find friends that are in the same stage of life as you.
Yep.
It was one of the most helpful things for us in our journey of parenting to have friends who had babies about our same age, because we could all kind of work through things together.
Oh, I remember, it's funny how I can go back and remember when Solomon, our middle, was brand new. And he was a very different baby than our first. And so trying to figure him out and I just didn't know what to do. And it was a whole lot. He might have been colicky. I don't know. But anyway, being able to have moms that I could be like, I am out of ideas. Does you're 6 months down the road from me past where I am. What remind me that this gets easier and this gets better, and not just from the parenting perspective, but relationally between you and your spouse. They're past the first however many weeks where it's we didn't sleep at all. And look, they're okay.
They're doing it.
They did it.
Yeah. And it's just fun to have friends to laugh with about something.
No, it is for sure.
Some of these years are so hard that just being able to laugh.
Yep.
Just having some people that it's we're all in it together. Our kids are all our homes are baby proofed.
Yep.
Every corner of every table has a little rubber piece on it. And it's just
we never did that.
I know we didn't, but I'm saying everything's happening and you just go, this is fun. We're all in this together.
Yeah. And you can look across the table and go, did you sleep last night? Nope, me neither. Cool.
Yep.
Whew, okay. Here we go.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. And then, which leads into number 9. I think it's equally as important to have some friends that are in the stage beyond you.
Yeah.
I remember when we first moved here, in my first couple, our first couple years here, one of the guys that I developed a friendship with, Paul Reichert. Shout out to Paul. You guys may know Paul if you go to Peak City. But I remember one of my first lunches that he and I were hanging out together. I said, man, how do you deal with kids growing up, because we had one that was about to hit middle school, and how do you do with kids growing up and moving on? Like, I'm just sad about, he's not a little kid anymore. And I was kind of grieving all those stages. And I'll never forget, he just said, Petey, the best way to handle that in your heart is to choose to celebrate the next season that he's going into instead of grieving the season he's leaving.
That's so good.
And that one piece of advice from someone in the season beyond me, I mean, it's changed how we do all of it. I go, oh yeah, man, my boy's about to be a teenager. Oh, that's crazy. Here we go. Let's do it.
Yeah. And that's the same with, I mean, how we like handle our friends that are getting ready to have kids or that have the tiny babe. It's like, oh, yeah, like, I know that it's so hard to see them celebrate their 6-month birthday and then their year birthday, but like, it is the coolest thing in the world to see them go into the next season of life. Yeah. So celebrate it is super important.
You need people in that season ahead of you. Yeah. You need people, and even people that are, beyond parenting kids that are in the house with you. I think about some guys in my life who their kids are actually moving on and they're
having families
of their own. And what's that like? And what's your marriage like now that you're not in the thick of it raising kids? And it's given you and I a vision of, we've only got 10, 11 years left with kids in the house, and then it's back to just you and me, girl.
Yeah.
And seeing the people that we have that are ahead of us, I don't go, oh, that's going to be hard. I go, that's going to be awesome.
That's gonna be so
cool.
Like,
wow.
Yep.
If we could have a marriage like Ed and Pam Williams, if we could end up being like Pat and Sherwin Crumley, like, oh, there's this, like those friendships, I think help you see that the struggle you're in right now is not it's not the end. It's not going to last forever. And there are good days still ahead. Well,
us as human beings have this tendency when you're in something hard to just go, oh my gosh, it's going to be like this forever. And to be able to have people in your life that you can go, oh, you were in this too.
Yeah.
And like, you're flourishing now. It's not going to be this hard, or this isn't going to be the issue forever. It's really nice to
so good
to have.
Yeah. Number 10, last one. Okay, last one. Help. You're about to be a parent. I think this is just such a beautiful one for us to end on. Why don't you share it with them?
So, something that, and we want to be careful about how we say this too. Yeah. But when you become a parent, I think you have it's the greatest joy in the world to be able to go, oh, like, I understand the heart of the Father.
Yeah.
I understand who Jesus is in a different way.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a better way than if you understand unconditional love in a different way because you have this human being that you're like, oh my gosh, nothing will keep me from loving you.
Yeah.
I will love you no matter what, whenever, like, that will never stop.
Yeah. And if you're single, you can still understand that. If you're unable to have kids, it's not like you can't know that. But there is something special that happens when you have a child that you just go, God loves me like this.
How is that even possible?
It's the wildest thing.
It's wild.
It's crazy. I remember even early on when, Emmett would wake up in the middle of the night and you'd be up taking care of him, feeding him, and I'd get up to see how you're doing. And I'm like, this kid has, like, I could have thought, this kid's ruined our lives and turned everything upside down.
Yeah.
And the only thing I could think is, oh man, I love him so much.
I'd do anything.
Every little interruption, it's like there's something about the innocence and vulnerability of a child that you have created that you just go, my heart is with them and I will do whatever it takes, even if it means the hard times, the discipline, the pain. I'll walk with them through anything, to hell and back. I will do anything for them. And then it clicks. Light
bulb, almost.
And you go, that's literally the Lord my God with me every step of the way.
Always.
Oh, yeah. It's something, man.
It's something.
It'll bring you to your knees in worship.
Yeah.
It really will.
Yep.
And so yeah, I mean, I think that's just for all y'all that are about to be parents, hard times are coming. But you also have a great joy and a great blessing, as the Psalms say, that children are a heritage from the Lord. It's a beautiful, beautiful gift that God has given you. So it's a major responsibility, major blessing, major problematic challenge, all the above. But it really adds a beautiful wrinkle to life, and it makes life feel like a true roller coaster.
Yep. Hang on.
Hang on. Buckle
on,
up.
baby.
It's about to go down. So
Yeah.
we're praying for all you expecting parents out there. If you're not yet in that season, maybe this prepares you for the time that comes. But we love you guys. We're praying for your family, praying for your future.
Yep.
And we got you back.
We love y'all.
Peace.